This episode of Philly Sports Now gets a little heated today, folks, so we apologize for the explicit language, but discretion is advised. Do you believe in miracles? Because I don't. The Phillies are fucking dead. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Philly Sports Now, a Philly fan podcast. My name is Zach. With me is Andrew. We're back to talk all things Philly sports now that the Phillies are fucking dead in the water. They're dead. They're dying. They're dead. I am so done with this team. I have been extremely stressed out the last few days. It's been a long day of work, that kind of bullshit. To have the Phillies go and just not hit the fucking ball, just not hit it. Just not hit it. Why bother? Why bother hitting the baseball? Sure, it might be one of the hardest things to do, but when you get paid $300 fucking million to do it, maybe swing. Maybe swing at the little baseball that's coming your way. I am so done with this team. And yes, barring a miracle, you could go win 3 straight games and move on to the NLCS. But I watched Bryce Harper's interview where he goes, we got our backs against the wall. And we got to get to work. We got to do the impossible, blah, blah, blah. It's like Bryce Harper, you can see is already like charting out where he's going to go spend next week. Like he's already not playing baseball in his head. And I'm done with him. I'm done with him. I'm done with this whole fucking team. I really am. And I have so many thoughts to go on, but I'm obviously coming in hot. Andrew has yet to speak. He hasn't even smirked. Usually I can get him to Twitch or something. Yeah, I am very much at the point of, barring a miracle, I am ready to completely clean house because this has been a fun ride, but unfortunately, like all good roller coasters, the ride has come to a complete stop and you got to get out of the fucking cart.
I hear what you're saying. I mean, I'm not ready to go that far with the giving up on everybody. Like Bryce Harper is a little much for me there. But no, I mean, these 2 games have been ridiculous. I mean, to go in and lose both games at home. And here's where I'm at. Listen, I love, as us fans talk about the energy, the noise, and how loud it is. I think it's at the point where it's overblown. I mean, I'm just saying it as it is. Like, I'm not blaming the fans, but my point is, you've now lost both games at home this year. You lost 1 against New York last year. Arizona came back and stole 6 and 7 in Philadelphia, and you were up 2-1 against Houston and lost 2 games in Philadelphia then as well. So as much as I love the noise, and I obviously keep bringing the noise, but in terms of the team aspect, when we kind of get into the postseason and we're like, oh, Philly's got the first 2 at home, I think, until they kind of, their team earns that back, I think we got to sit back and say, like, hypothetically, let's say the Phillies come back and take the next 2 in LA. Usually we'd be sitting here like, oh, game 5 in Philly, right? We got the advantage. Well, you can't.
I have it here. In the last 3 years, the Phillies have in total gone 3-5 at home.
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, that's horrible. All you hear all bye week, all you heard was, oh, Phillies had 55 home wins. Phillies
at home.
Home field.
Home.
Yeah.
Oh, they filled up
home
the
percentage. And so, again, it's nothing against the fans. I want to make that clear. Like, don't make it think I'm like quiet down, right? It's on the team for not protecting home field. The fans are doing their part. You're down 4-0 and 4-1 late in game 2, and you see them staying on their feet and still cheering this team on for a rally. And when was it Marsh? I think Marsh threw out Teoscar Hernandez at second. I think in the top of the 8th when he was trying for that double, you hear that place erupt and you're down 4-0. So the fans are doing their part there. It's just more terms of those games won.
And, yeah, if I may, let's keep it at the home topic for now. But the idea, and this is one of the reasons why I'm done with the team. I'm saying unless we pull a miracle, but I don't even think we're gonna win tomorrow. I don't even think so. This should go up on Wednesday, October 8th. I don't even think we win game 3. But miracle's gonna happen. But the reason I don't think we're even gonna win another game is because of the attitude everyone has. I mean, you have like I already talked about Harper being all pissy after the game. You have Rob Thompson who just I got to hold off that because Topper is a whole nother thing entirely, which if Thompson has a fucking job next year, like we should have won the World Series. I think I tweeted that, but like there is no way Rob Thompson stays in Philadelphia without the Phillies winning a World Series at this point because this series has been inexcusable from him. I don't blame him for losing the series, but he has not helped in the fucking slightest. Staying at the home field advantage thing, though, I already said it. Phillies are 3-5 in the last three series in the postseason: NLCS 2023, NLDS 2024, and this NLDS. The home field advantage thing, it just doesn't matter. And like whatever, if the Phillies aren't thriving off the fans anymore, that's crazy, but whatever. It's the fact that you have Castellanos coming after the game and being like, yeah, the fans are a two-edged sword because when you're winning it's great, but when you're losing it's also, I forget his exact word, but something about it being intimidating. And you know what, man? Fuck off. Go somewhere else. I don't have your millions you're making because you're not in the top three. I do have the top three here, but like I don't give a shit. Castellanos was one of my favorite players, one of my absolute favorite players. I constantly think about the 2023 NLCS double home run night, and that was awesome. Or actually, that might have been the NLDS 2023. But anyway, I like what a like he to have him have the fall from grace that he has, it just sucks. It sucks that their attitude is just so nonchalant. Like, oh man, we lost again. Oh no, darn it. I hope mom got us pizza for dinner. I hope maybe dad picked up a soda. Like it's like, dude, like I get it's a game. I do. I get it. But like when our life is hard or when the real world sucks ass like it kind of does right now, you kind of look to sports. And like as a Phillies fan, you're even more emotional and more fired up than most fan bases. And goddamn, the Phillies from 2022 was like they were Philadelphia. And like that's I think why the fan base rallied around them so much. They were the fire and passion that the fans were. It was equally met. And now you're seeing them just fizzle out. They're just laying on their backs, taking it. They're like, whatever. Oh no, like this is it. Oh darn. Like, and you know what? Like, I don't count the ninth inning rally that happened yesterday. I don't. Bullshit. Fuck that. And I'll tell you why. Because A, it is true that the Dodgers manager, excuse me, because fucking why would sports be the same? The Dodgers manager put in a lesser pitcher because he didn't give a shit and then realized it was a mistake and fixed it. And then after that happened, Phillies weren't able to score. So that's why you don't win. Doesn't fucking matter. So like the Phillies ninth inning rally was just all fake. It just all was. And I'll tell you why, because now I want to get into the top hitters, which Andrew, I want your opinion on what's going on with them. And we'll talk about whether or not they deserve to be traded. But like, even with the rally, right? You have Turner going 1 for 7 in the last two games. You have Schwarber going 0 for 7 in the last two games. You have Harper going 1 for 7 in the last two games. You have Bohm, not a top paid guy, but was one of the best players in October in the team, going 1 for 6 in the last two games. And you know what? I can't. I know that the Dodgers have one of the best starting pitching lineups in baseball, but like they also don't have a very great bullpen. And to have nothing happen in these two games, you can't get anything going. Like you look over at I believe Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani also only have like one or two hits each in the last two games. So like it's not even like they're getting outbatted by the other team's heavy hitters, but like our heavy hitters need to show up, and they don't look like they care. They don't. I'll be honest. I preferred seeing Bohm fired up and seeing him pissed off because that showed me he cared and he was pissed and he was in it. Now the problem with that, of course, is that when that happens, he's not playing right because he's not focusing correctly. But man, I am just so tired of seeing these guys just not care. The most fire came from when Bader got that hit in the ninth inning because Bader like looked like he cared, man. That's a, like I I have so many things here numbers wise that tell me why I want to fire every single player on this team, but it's what I'm seeing in these games that just make me just I was going to say sad, but it's not sad. I'm just disappointed. They just don't want to fucking play.
See, I completely disagree with you there. I don't think it's that at all. baseball is a game where, I mean, you look at the Dodgers, you're not going to get fired up until something good happens. I mean, you're not going to be fired up in the dugout because you're getting no hit. I mean, you got to wait for those things to happen. That's why in the ninth inning, when those hits started to happen, you saw them get fired up. When you saw the team score in the eighth inning, you saw them getting fired up. I mean, you're not seeing the Dodgers fired up in the third inning when it's 0-0 and both pitchers are battling it. And I'm with you 100% on the Castellanos. Yeah, you don't go blame the fans. And Alec Boehm, you don't go blame the fans. Like, that's ridiculous. But in terms of like their care, I mean, I think Schwarber clearly is disappointed with his performance. He was calling himself out. You saw Harper call himself out as well. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that part about the care.
I think if I may, real quick, and then I'll get back in it. I think they are drowning in their own money at this point, because for them to care but go and lay down and die like this, I don't know what else to blame. I don't know what else to blame in this situation.
Well, I'll tell you what to blame, and I put this ahead of the offense. That this series right now is all, or maybe not all, but a big part of it is on Rob Thompson. I can sit here and say, in my entire lifetime, I don't know if I've ever seen a manager get so outmanaged in a series before, and Rob Thompson has gotten outmanaged in 2 games. And I have all these numbers to go here, and I'll start with this because you already touched on these numbers. You mentioned it. Trey Turner's 1 for 7. Bryce Harper's 1 for 7. Kyle Schwarber's 0 for 7. But here's the thing. You want to talk about our 3 stars, and you hinted towards this because of the Dodgers starting pitching. The Phillies starting pitching is just as good. These 2 teams, even though the Phillies are down 2-0, these 2 teams are the best teams in baseball on paper. I truly believe that. And it stinks that you're getting matched up with them first round in a 5-game series, not a 7-game series. But I'll say this, and this is why, and don't get me wrong, obviously I want the hitters to hit and the offense to start hitting the ball. But when you're matched up, if you want to match up our 3 guys, our leadoff hitter, Trey Turner, 1 for 7. Ohtani's 1 for 9. You mentioned that. Bryce Harper's 1 for 7. Their second hitter, Mookie Betts, he's 1 for 9. Schwarber's 0 for 7. Freeman's 2 for 7. So combined, their top 3 is 4 of 25. Ours is 2 for 21. And ours also have 2 walks. So in reality, both teams have got their top 3 has gone on 6 times, and ours got on 6 times as well. So where does it come down to? It comes down to the managing. The managing has been that poor. You look at it, and this is where I'm tired of Rob Thompson, and it sounds weird to say because of how good of a regular season manager he is. That's why when we fired Girardi, he sparked the team, got to the World Series. We've increased our win. We've increased our win total each season. He's been the manager. That's why he's a good regular season manager. But when it comes to the postseason, he's not made one adjustment since the World Series. You look at it, Zach Wheeler, when he pulled Zach Wheeler too early and brought in Jose Alvarado gives up the big grand slam. You look at it the following year, he went reliever. He used Craig Kimbrell time after time after time. You go to game one of this season or this series. Yes, did you only score 3 runs? Yeah. Should you have tacked on more? Probably. But again, you're facing one of the best players, the best player in the game, one of the best pitchers in the game, in Shohei Ohtani. It's not going to come easy. He's a good pitcher for a reason. He's going to find his way out of jams, just like Chris Sanchez. He found himself out of jams. You look at the hit total for these 2 games, Dodgers in game 1, 6. Phillies, 6. Hits in game 2, Phillies, 7. Dodgers, 7. So, yes, the offense has not been great, but that's what you get when you have the 2 best teams going at it and starting pitching-wise going at it. And that's where Rob Thompson, he made the managerial mistake to let Dave Robertson go back in after he's not done that once all season. To get out of an inning, sit down, come back up, and restart. You had an entire bye week off, right? An entire bye week off, and the luxury of an off day on Sunday, which has been raved about for the last month going into the series, that you don't have to tax your bullpen because you had that day off. And he tried to squeeze in it like you've played 10 straight games and didn't have an off day the next day. And you try to force the 40-year-old back out there, and he hits a batter and walks a guy. And then it all goes downhill from there because you bring in Matt Strahm, and he later gives up the home run. Same thing.
Yeah, I don't want to see Strahm again. I just want to throw that out there. I don't want to see that long-haired motherfucker again in this series. Just saying.
Well, he's the best lefty in the pen.
I get it. I get it. Stats, bullshit, Moneyball. But like, every time he's been in, it sucks. Every time. These 2 games. He's been in 2 games.
So I just think, again, I think my number one blame right now is on the manager. And anyone who listens to this knows I'm not one to go right after the coach. Like I'll usually come to the defense of the coach but this series and go get game 2, Game 2 as well was just another managerial mistake. And I'll actually go back to it because he didn't play in Game 1 or Game 2, excuse me. But Harrison Bader, your hottest hitter since the trade deadline. Everybody's been talking about it. How he stepped up for Turner going into the leadoff spot. How he's been the energy spark the team could use. And you put him eighth in the batting order. Like, what are we doing? Like, I get it. You want to turn the lineup over is the strategy behind it, but you got to get there too. So use Marsh, use Stott, those other guys that aren't as hot, and that's where it is for me. And I've been very disappointed in Thompson through these first 2 games. And again, trust me, I more than anyone else want to see Trey Turner hit, want to see Bryce Harper hit, want to see Kyle Schwarber hit. But to me, it'd be different if their guys were going out there and going 10 for 15. Because then, yes, it's star versus star power. But how good both sides pitching has been, this is a series where, and when you get the 2 best teams, it is manager versus manager at times. And right now, Dave Roberts has the number, and we'll get into game 2 because I want to get into the late game effects of that too. But I don't know what your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I to wrap up the topper stuff, like, and play with my hair a little more, but to wrap up the topper stuff, it's. I think, in my opinion, it's summed up in the most obvious thing is taking out Luzardo in the he should not have taken Luzardo out early.
That's true. Yeah,
it was absolutely.
I didn't get to game 2 yet.
It was the wrong call. Luzardo was hot. He what was it? 2 men got on base. Totally get it. It's a little bit of a panic move. Let him finish the inning because, as you said, and I'm sorry, I forget which bullpen people are which in this situation, but the bullpen guy he went to, it had never successfully handled having men on base. And that's what he put out there. And it just made no fucking sense. And it was absolutely dog shit, his decision-making with the bullpen. And I think another perfect summary of his decision-making, because apparently it was his decision for this, was to have Stott bunt in the 9th inning. I'm not saying they should have won in the 9th, but when there's no outs and Casty was on second, how do you not just let Stott hit? Especially Stott's had one of the better recent outings. He had a 3-1. He was batting .313 in September. How do you not just let Stott swing the fucking ball? There was no outs. There was none. And Casty was in scoring position on second. It's not like he was on first. Like it was, again, I'm a dumb dipshit. So when I'm like, you shouldn't have done that, what the fuck does that tell you about Rob Thompson?
Yeah, there's 3 things on that play I wanted to get to because you're spot on in many ways there. So first, yeah, I understand if you're going to try that bunt, but you don't call it down to third base. If the play is going to be going to third base, you don't bunt the ball toward the base it's going to go to and give him the momentum for that. If anything, if you are going to make the play or bunt the ball, whether you agree with the bunt or not, if you're going to bunt, you go to first base where the guy charging it is going to have to turn around because Freddie Freeman's a right-handed. If he doesn't turn, he's going to have to throw across his body, which is a hard throw to make. So you're going to have to get it and spin to that way. Or the lefty pitcher that's on the mound, same thing. He's going to have to get it and then go in his motion. But the other thing on that play is you had the luxury of stop pulling back on a bunt to see the slider coming for the first pitch. You saw the play design the Dodgers were doing. The second you saw that play the Dodgers were running, you should have pulled the bump back and saw that there's going to be plenty of open field there. They call it the wheel bunt, the wheel defense there, where Betts fakes the defender and runs with Castellanos in that situation. And obviously Betts is faster than Castellanos, so he has the beat there to the back. And that's the other thing. Shout out to Jimmy Rollins in his post-game thing with the way he broke that play down. That's all Castellanos too. You see that play and the guy's beating you in the back, there's nobody covering second. All you had to do was stop, go back to second, and go first and second there. Now you're first and second, nobody out because they're going to third. So that part's on the players. But I'm with you on the bunt aspect of it as well. Like, if you're looking at it there and the guy's on first, then yes, you absolutely bunt. You move the guy to scoring position. But in that case, with one of your slower runners on second in that spot. I went back and forth. At the time, I was thinking of the bunt, but again, you bunted down the wrong side. But
yeah, there wasn't enough reward in the risk is the best way to put it. And literally what happened is the problem. Now, if I may like to say one more thing here, but I'm throwing shade left and right, so fuck it, let's do it again. Which, by the way, this podcast editing, I'm gonna put like a warning or something up front, just gonna be like, it's an explicit episode. Yeah, while I'm throwing shade left and right, Barkin on post game live, just learn to shut the fuck up. I know it's your job to talk. Just learn to shut the fuck up. Because when the entire fucking table of guys who are professional baseball players, analysts, whatever, because I know it's a mix, like when they're telling you that he didn't put in a pitch runner for Casty because he knew he had to put one in for Bader, like, stop. Like, just admit you're wrong, dude. Just admit you're fucking wrong and shut the fuck up. It was so bad that I went to PHLY's postgame live, which I have never done just because I always listen to postgame live on TV. And now I'm just never going to listen to Barkin's postgame live again. I was like, oh, this is actually people who like know what they're fucking talking about. So I'm going to stick with this instead. Like, shut the fuck up, Barkin. Just shut the fuck up. That's all you had to do. All right. Just had to get that one off my chest. Had to do it. I think Andrew, I know you said you wanted to talk details of game 2, so I think this is kind of where, like, I think that's all that's really left to do. So, like, let's get into it.
Yeah, no, the main thing, there was the bunt situation there in the ninth, but I think I get it with what people were saying and what you said is like, don't count the ninth. I don't go that far. I mean, with how much these guys have been struggling, I think it was kind of a spark. And to these guys' credit in the bottom of the order, they're kind of the ones that have been providing the hits.
True.
So
very true.
It would have been different if, that guy came in and it was Turner and Schwarber and Harper finally getting those hits. But, like, I did like the aspect of they continued to hit in that sense. And you know what? As much as I've ripped on them all season, and not that obviously it's worked to 2 wins, but I'm going to give a quick shout out to Max Kepler. I know he didn't come through every time,
dude.
But for as much as the guys are getting ripped on, he gets a double in the game 1 in the ninth to try to spark that rally, and then in the 8th inning he gets the triple that sparks the first run. So you know what? As much as a tough season he's had, he actually has 2 extra base hits in 2 games. And the other quick shout out is just because, like, obviously it's easy for us to get lost in everything going on now, but with you losing your quote-unquote ace and Zach Wheeler, I think everyone looked at it like, man, what's the Phillies pitching going to look like, right, when you lost Wheeler? And obviously it hasn't translated to 2 wins because of what's happened elsewhere in the game. But you have to give a shout-out to Chris Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo for stepping up big time. You could not have asked for 2 better performances there for those guys to keep you in games. Sanchez leaves the game with the lead. Luzardo, I know you're responsible for the 2 guys, as you mentioned, Zach. But at the time of exit, it was 0-0, and he retired 17 straight before that. So, I mean, again, obviously their performances get lost with the bad that has happened, but they did go out there and pick up for Wheeler. And
they did their job. They did their job phenomenally.
And it was good. So I just want to put that out there real quick. But game 2-wise, it came down to that bunt. I mean, you have the next guys up there. And you know what? The other thing about Stott, right? Real quick, another reason why I don't bunt, and this is pretty much the final thing on game 2, but you look at the last few years, right? Who has been your biggest playoff moment hitter? And it's been Stott. Bryson Stott, while he might not hit 330 like a lot of
he handles
tier
pressure.
hitters, he knows pressure. He knows how to work a count. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And you saw that there in you go back to 2 years ago, I think, the wild card series. Bases loaded. Marlins switch out a righty for a lefty, and that was the big moment with the AOK walk-up song, and he hits the grand slam off the lefty, right?
Dude,
you look at last year.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm jumping ahead. I was.
I get it. We're all like this.
I think you're going to say what I was thinking yesterday during the game, so please continue.
And then, you look at last year when you're struggling. You lose game 1 to the Mets. Game 2, Stott sparked the big comeback there. Rips pulling down the line. He had a big hit in one of the Braves series. I can't remember which year it was, but I think it was his rookie year because the team was struggling to hit, and he drove in the first run that year as a rookie. He knocked the ball in the right field. So he's been there for the moment. And a guy like Bryson Stott, who again is so smart at the plate, yes, he might not get all the singles and get that 330 average. He doesn't strike out a lot. So at worst, he's a guy, even if he's going to ground out, he knows in that situation he's got to pull the ball to the right side. So worst case is he's probably going to at least make contact, ground it to the right side, and move the guy up to third anyway. And then no one's sitting here talking about it because the guy still moved up to third. And then, or he's going to pull one through the way, depending on how they're shifted. Because again, they were expecting the bunt, so you might be able to sneak one through. So it's tough. And
So I wanted to add, you mentioned like in a previous game, which I'll make sure to try and edit myself out of arguing because you made some good points, but like not arguing, I interrupting. But dude, yesterday, the fact because you can't always hear like the walk up songs or the in between inning stuff, like it doesn't really transfer to TV all the time. And yesterday, when I offhand, what was the score? Were we at 3 runs at that point when Stott came up?
when Stock came up, he was right after the double.
That's what. So Stott's walking up. Casty's on second. It's 4-3, no outs, and you can hear the AOK on the TV. I like jumped. I'm like, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. This is the moment. And then you have him bunt, and it was so bad. It was so like it was a bad. I mean, just gonna fucking
Yeah, no,
hate myself, but it was just like to have it was poetic him walking up to that plate, and that bunt was
really
just like, oh no,
nah,
Phillies.
Rob had other thoughts. Oh no, just his post game comments too just drove me crazy when he was talking about it. He's like, "Yeah, I had the bunt away. We're playing for a tie because our bullpen,
Topper, dude, playing for the tie? Are you fucking nuts? Like,
because our bullpen's in a better spot than theirs. First off, I'm not even going to touch on the bullpen right now, but you look at your bullpen. You look at your bullpen. Look what you did in that game, whether it was right or wrong. You used Orion Kirkring. You used who's probably your best right-handed. Well, before Durant, your best right-handed pitcher, your setup guy. Then you used Matt Strom, your best lefty in the bullpen, and then you used Johan Durant. So you legitimately used your 3 best pitchers going into the bottom of the 9th inning. And you're going to say, our bullpen's in a great spot. We're going to play for the tie for extra innings. You just used your 3, and you used Tanner Banks, actually. So you basically used your 4 best bullpen relievers. And so what way are you in a better spot than – and I get it. They matched you with their bullpen, but you still used your top-tier bullpen. Like, your 10th inning guy is probably going to be David Robertson again. But
I got to tell you, if anyone – oh, go ahead. Sorry.
My last thing on Rob real quick is the in-game adjustments. And this kind of leads into game 3. You have a guy in Ranger Suarez who is the lowest postseason ERA in your franchise history and one of the lowest in baseball history. In all series, you come in and you're like, oh, we're going to save him. We're going to save him for game 3 just so we can use him out of the bullpen in game 1. And then going into game 2, oh, we're not going to announce our game 3 starter so Aaron Nola can come out of the bullpen. Ranger Suarez can come out of the bullpen. And then you look across the other way to the dugout. And what did the Dodgers manager, Dave Roberts, do in game 1? Oh, our bullpen's not pitching really very well right now. So they used Tyler Glasnow, their game 3 or 4 starter in that game. And he shut the door down. They transferred their closer, Sasaki, who came in game 1 and then came in for the final out in game 2. He started the year as a starting pitcher. But he realized our bullpen needs help. We're going to move that. And I don't want to hear the Phillies don't have the same depth. You have Ranger Suarez. That was why you weren't pitching Ranger Suarez. So that goes back to being outmanaged. You could have did the same exact thing as he did. And he, for some reason, he's not doing it. And I don't know if maybe they're trying to hide an injury from Ranger. I don't know. We'll find out Wednesday night because if Ranger's not the guy after Aaron Nola, that tells me Ranger's hurt. If Ranger pitches after Aaron Nola, well, and that's the other thing. I don't know how Ranger Suarez is not and Zach, I am a very Aaron Nola defender, but it is quite clear who had the better season this year. Yep. It is quite clear Aaron Nola has not been right, and you're going Nola over Suarez.
So I was actually going to end the podcast asking you about because I look, you can give final thoughts on the series of what to expect to come. But the only statistical thing, I guess, not statistical, but the only like logistical thing I wanted to talk about was, I mean, Nola pitching tomorrow, game 3, is asinine. Like it just is. It is he at best is a game 4 starter this year. And I hate to say it, folks, but it doesn't look like there's gonna be a game 4. So why would you play him in game 3?
Yeah, I don't, and that's the thing. I came into the series like Aaron Nola's not going to throw one pitch. Like, because even if there was a game 4, because
And
of the
Andrew
offense,
is your number 1 Nola supporter. Just throwing that out there. Like,
because coming in, that was all I talked about too. The off days, right? So you didn't have to use Nola
yep.
because of the off days. If there is a game 4, it's going to be Sanchez because he's going to be on regular rest. So again, I don't know. And the other thing is, you watch this first 2 games, and to go back to it, you've had 2 lefties, right? And what do we say? Otani's 1 hit. Mookie Betts is 1 hit.
Yeah, I think they're both 1 hit in 2 games.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman's only 2 hits. So you had 2 lefties contain their guys, and now you're going to go to a right-handed to face a left-handed Otani. Yep. Like, I don't. We'll see how it works out. But
Otani might hit a home run first pitch of the game. First pitch of Dodgers at bat.
Aaron Nola's pitch. First Aaron Nola pitch.
Other than that, I think I gotta ask it, Andrew, but where are we going with this series?
Personally, I think they find a way to take 1. I don't think they can come back, but I think they find a way to avoid a sweep and then drop what would it be Thursday night's game.
Well, that's almost worse considering it's a 9:00 game. I have to somehow stay up for now.
Well, that's right. I'd rather win wins than stay up for the night. I'd rather sit here and say, okay, I stay up for a win than I stay up for us losing.
Yeah, but if you win Wednesday, then I got to do it again because I assume Thursday's also a 9:00 game.
No, it's weird. They switched it. Thursday's at 6.
So then we get to go watch the Eagles lose to the Giants.
Thank you, everyone. I think they try to gift us a present there, not have to match up. By the end of the Phillies game, will be maybe the second quarter halftime. But.
Yeah, I got nothing good to say right now. I got nothing good to say about the Phillies. Nothing good to say about the Eagles. Sixers can burn in hell.
Maybe miracles happen. Maybe we'll come back and talk about a couple more.
Maybe we'll all be millionaires. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Philly Sports Now, a Philly fan podcast. You can find us on social media. Links are in the description below. Make sure you like, subscribe, please share, and I don't know, comment. Tell us, no, fuck you, you're going to win. Go Phils. But, you're not. You're wrong. They're not going to win. Dodgers in 3. Clip it. I'd love to be wrong. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And as
we'd
always,
love to be on freezing cold takes.
Go Phils.